it's me again, Patrick Steven. I want to welcome you again to this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today as part of our family. If you have subscribed or if you have not, I want you to be a part of our family by subscribing. Today I have a very, very, very special guest. One of the most intelligent, smart success stories that I know, and it's such an honor to have her here today. So I've got a guest with me, and today we're going to be discussing something very important about the importance of aligning, because we know that so much has happened in 2020. Quite a number of you have been through all kinds of things as a result of the effect and the consequence of COVID. So I've brought somebody here who I know have walked principles. She has walked the talk, and today she's going to be sharing so much that you're going to find very beneficial. So join me in welcoming Ethel as my guest today. So nice to see you.
Yes, lovely to be here.
Looking
Thank
so
you.
beautiful
Thank
as
you.
ever. Gorgeous with a wonderful background.
Oh yeah, thank you for inviting me. I feel so
Thank you.
privileged to be here.
Thank you for joining me. So will you just tell our viewers a little about yourself?
Yeah, of course. Yes, hello viewers, and thank you for tuning in onto the platform. My name is Ethel Changa. I am privileged to be here. A bit about my background. So I work in mental health services within the NHS and have been working in these services for over 20 years. I'm passionate about it. I'm also a speaker. I usually talk about on motivational, inspirational topics, and I like to motivate people to really empower them and unleash their potential. And I'm hoping that being here today, I'll give you some nuggets that you can use to really be the best version of yourself. So I'm really happy to be here, Pastor.
Amazing. Wow. That's just a tip of the iceberg. So yes, we're just going to actually go straight into it without wasting much time. You know, so much has happened this year in 2020. And basically, we want to talk about the importance of people aligning, trying to recreate a future that they want, trying to go from where they are to where they want to be, regardless of what has happened. So I'm going to give you the floor and just allow you to share certain principles you think people can apply based on alignment and any other important principles you think that people need to apply in their life at this time.
Okay, thank you very much for that. For me, it's really it's really been a tragedy, as you said, to have gone through COVID, and for people to be actually have experienced COVID, because obviously COVID came upon us. We didn't actually know the impact that it would have, but we all know that it has had a really devastating impact on people psychologically, families, job losses, our health, our wellness, our well-being. So there's something about helping people regain that resilience to actually live their lives and get back on their feet, so to say. So just in line with that, what I would really encourage and would really share is really about how do we go back to basics. There's something about going back to basics, which is how do we start to rebuild from the beginning? What does that look like? What does a person, anyone who's listening today, what are the things that they can do or need to do to actually build that resilience? And for me, it's really something that's simple. And it's about how do I go back to myself and start to rebuild my life from who I am. So there's something about us coming back to who we are as human beings and working from there. Now I'll tell you a little bit more about what I mean. So I believe that as human beings, we all need well-being and wellness. And obviously COVID has had an impact, like I've said, physically and also mentally and in all other areas of our lives. So we need to rebuild those areas. We need to get back to basics and rebuild those areas, but it starts with me. It starts with me rebuilding my resilience and reconnecting back with who I am. So some of the things that are around that, I'll call them pillars, if you like. We need to look at our physical wellness, emotional wellness, relational wellness, and spiritual wellness. And obviously financial wellness is a fifth one. Those are all the pillars that are around it. But a good starting point is really starting to think about our emotional wellness. How do we realign ourselves emotionally to who we are? Now, if I went through COVID myself, and I know that it's left me feeling emotionally, it took me out of emotional balance,
Okay.
if you like. So there's something about getting back to that emotional balance and that emotional resilience. How does a person do that? You might be asking, or someone might be asking, how do I get back emotionally? The first thing to do is to really start to connect with your emotions.
Okay.
So how are you feeling? What is going in your mind? Are you feeling angry? Are you feeling distressed? Are you feeling stressed? Reconnecting, almost like doing a pulse check on yourself. What is going through what is going on within me emotionally at the moment? Once you've done that, then it's about really working through those emotions, accepting them as real emotions. Because a lot of the times as human beings, it's so easy for us to think, okay, you're feeling this way, please don't feel that way, feel this way, instead of feeling whatever distress emotion that you're feeling. But the key thing is to accept that this is a real emotion, because all of us have been wounded somewhat because of COVID. So we need that emotional wellness and emotional well-being as a start. And then we need to go into looking at our physical wellness and physical well-being. Like I said to you, I had COVID myself, and I had to really think about how I can look after myself from a physical well-being perspective. So when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about how I'm eating, my nutrition, my sleep, and also just things like basics like exercising. But for one to really realign yourself with all that, you need to, as you said, or we talked about before, really visualize yourself as that.
So is that where the
end.
mental and the psychological part come into it now?
Yes, because without visualizing where you want to get to, it's hard for you to get there. So there's something about visualizing where you want to get to, because then it's almost like you've got that start point, but you know where your destination is,
Okay.
and you know where you want to get to. So there's something about visualizing where you want to get to and actually making the decision to make the changes that enable you to get there. So it's like, if you're going to look after yourself physically, you can't just keep telling yourself that every day, but not actually getting up to do something about it.
Okay.
So for me, because I had COVID, I knew that one, I'm not going to go to the gym because I can't go to the gym. The gyms will close. So it starts off with small baby steps. Like, I'm visualizing myself actually being more physically well.
Okay.
So I'm visualizing myself. What does that look like? What will my appearance be like? What would it look like? So I'm visualizing that, and then I'm taking the baby steps. So rather than thinking I need to be 20 hours or 4 hours in the gym, taking small steps are just going for a walk, which is 30 minutes. So it starts with that decision, making that decision to do something about it. So those are the steps that one would take. Emotional well-being we talked about, and with emotional wellness, obviously we can go into things like emotional intelligence, which you would already know about, but which I won't go into any depth. But the next one is really around spiritual alignment. You see, Pastor, we have a maker who created us. The Spirit of God resides in us. And those people who are listening, I don't know, whoever you call your God or whoever you term your God, but you were created we've got a maker. I'm a Christian, so I believe that the Spirit of God resides in me. If I do not connect with the Spirit of God that resides in me, and I'm out of alignment with the Spirit of God who resides in me, I cannot be navigated. You see. So there's something about that alignment that needs to take place for me to be navigated to where I need to get to, and to do the things that I need to do, which are connected to the destiny that God has created for me. So how does one spiritually align themselves? Simple, spending time with your maker. Spending time in prayer. One of the things I do is meditation. So meditation is really quieting my mind. So it's really getting to that place where I'm just giving my mind and my thoughts a break, quieting my mind so that I can hear from God. So people meditate in various ways. Some people read a word or a scripture and then they just meditate on that. And they're just thinking about that and they're meditating on it. So meditation is a unique thing. And that is something that really helps one connect spiritually with their maker and with their own spiritual that internal spirit that resides in them, in their soul. And one of the things that I've learned, and I know for sure, is that's who I am, and that will never, that spiritual part of me is with me forevermore, would never leave me. God has his eyes on me at all times, all the time, no matter what I'm going through.
I think why that is so important is because people have to understand that life is spiritual.
Yeah.
And that there's a spiritual wall out there, there's a spiritual dimension to life. So it's very important that you're mentioning that. Now the other part also I wanted to touch is when we're talking one time and I heard you said something like you have to be what you want to be. So for instance, if you want to be loved, you find love, you have to be loved. If you're about, I want you to please just shed some more light about that, where things have to begin from the inside of you before you see the manifestation as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So I'll touch on it in a second. I just want to quickly mention about relational wellness.
Okay.
So relational wellness, so we've talked about physical, emotional, spiritual, relational. Relational wellness is really around who are the people who are around you.
Wow, okay.
A lot of us hang on to toxic relationships and people that we know are toxic because we're too afraid to let go. We think, oh, we don't want to be perceived as being bad or being a horrible person. But now is a time where we have to really make that check and really think about who is around me, who needs to be around me right now. Because it's so easy that if we've got the wrong person around you, for us to not align with really where we are going or who God has created us to be.
Okay.
So that relational alignment is so important. So it's about who is around you. Who do I need to let go of?
So, but how do you define who should be around you?
So it's about, so it's simple. If there's anyone, the people who are around you are not edifying and are not building you or edifying you to where you are going, or are not aligned to where you're going or your vision and cannot see it, and are constantly, you put something in front of them, they're bringing it down. Why on earth would you want to be with that person? Why on earth would you want to be around that person? You need to just get up and move on. You know, because you're not at the same wavelength, you see what I mean?
Wow.
So if you're not at the same wavelength with somebody, why do you want to hang on to them? Because they're not going where you want to go. And you see the problem with relationships, and that's why I want to stay there for a little bit, is because we think that for me to make it, I need another person. But that's very flawed thinking. You don't need nobody.
So what do you say about people who are stuck, either based on people they are married to, the toxic people are your family, or work environment?
The key is
work environment.
Set them free.
Okay.
Set them free.
Okay.
You see, if you're married to somebody, that person is not there to make you happy. Your happiness is your responsibility. You are responsible for your own happiness. And you were given a unique gift and a unique talent to input into this world. You've got a purpose. Your purpose is not tied to a person. Your purpose is tied to your maker.
Okay.
Because your maker is the one who put that seed in you. So the person you need to be connecting with and you need to have full, proper, solid alignment with is your maker. Not your husband, not your kid, not your friend, not anything else, not your car, not your house. Alignment with your source. Because when you have alignment with your source, then it doesn't matter who's there or not there. Because already you're flourishing. Does that make sense?
So if I'm watching now and I know I have
you need to free your partner to be themselves.
To be them. Wow.
You need to have the freedom to be authentic self. Your partner needs to have the freedom to be the authentic self. The problem is in relationships, people get together and it's like, you need to change. Because you do this and that, it means that you are stopping me from being who I need to be. No. They don't need to change. I need to change. I need to change my focus and my perspective, and I need to free the other person to be who they want to be. Because when two people come together, it should be about you are complete. You are flourishing in your gifting. I'm here, I'm complete, I'm flourishing. We're coming together to just broaden the sphere of our flourishing. Both of us are soaring.
Wow.
But it's not about
Amazing.
It's not about you are the one who needs to help me soar. And I'm the one who needs to, because when we put expectations on each other, Pastor, when I expect you to be something that will make me happy, then already I'm not in alignment. Because I cannot put an expectation like that on a person. And no one should put an expectation of their happiness on another person. That is completely flawed. But when you are aligned with your maker, it's like you've got that flowing, you've got everything flowing into you. It doesn't matter who's there or not there. So that means for me, it's about, I get so fascinated, I'll use the word fascinated, when people say, I need someone in my life because they complete me. Nobody completes you.
Yeah.
You're already complete. Because if I say, Pastor, you complete me, it means that I'm going to be needy and I'm going to need you around me all the time because you complete me. No, you edify and contribute to my life. But I cannot rely on you and be that latch, what do we call it? That leech or whatever. No, my connection is God.
So how do people who are listening?
So that's relational alignment.
Relational.
So what I wanted to say today, let go of people who are not aligned to where you are going.
Okay.
And you will know by what they are contributing to your life. And also, as you are moving on in your path, you need to concentrate on your relationship with your Maker and your relationship with yourself. That's the key. Your relationship with yourself.
So what do you mean by that?
So it means that Ethel needs to know who Ethel is. I need to spend time with myself. I need to meditate. I need to actually hear what is my Maker saying to me. I need to know what makes Ethel happy. I need to walk in what makes Ethel happy. But I also need to be happy. You see, if you're connected to your Maker, my Maker is love. Because God is love. Meaning that God lives in me. So I am love. Love lives in me. So I cannot respond to somebody out of any other emotion other than love. Because that's what lives in me. That's who I am. So when somebody does anything to me, whether they're doing it with an intention to hurt me or anything, my response is love, because that's who I am.
Amazing.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So the God I serve is joy. Joy lives in me. So it means that I am joyous in the things that I do, and that's what I radiate out, because that's who I am, and that's what lives in me. So anytime that we are wanting to connect with this wellness and realign with this wellness, it has to be through the lens of who our Maker is. Love, joy, peace, abundance. You see, those are the key things. So I cannot move in lack and I cannot talk lack, because my God is not lack.
I cannot talk lack and move in lack.
No,
Wow.
we cannot talk from a place of I don't have or I can't. No, you can't talk from those words. We have to talk from the words of it's already done. Then we just have to move to the doneness.
So for those who are listening now and they are saying COVID-19 has happened, my job, I don't know, how do you do that practically? Get to this place. So I'm feeling lack. I'm surrounded by, how do I get to this place?
I start from changing my perspective and recognizing who I am. That's why I say what I need is me. And when I say I need me, it means that I need me. I need myself to be in alignment with my Maker, which will align all these other things and my wellness. Then I can move into that abundance. So for somebody who's lost their job, and someone who is maybe in some kind of a distressing situation, it's about, okay, first of all, I want to say, if you're listening, you've lost your job or maybe you've lost your home or whatever, it might seem like all hope is gone and there's no way out. I want to tell you for sure it looks like that right now, but I would like you to just start by taking steps to come back to who you are and come back to the God who created you, whoever that is. And I want you to see, and if you're able to do this, just look at all the things that God is. And start to tell yourself that you are those things. So start speaking those things start thinking those things about yourself. So God is love. I am abundance. I am wholeness. I'm fullness. I'm worthy. I'm excellent. I'm peace. Start speaking those things about yourself to yourself, because that is who you are, because that God resides in you. And when you start doing that, you're already creating the track for you to walk on to be that. If that makes sense. You start to move in that. So from a place of distress, from a place of not having anything in your mind, you move to a place of your mind starts to open up opportunities. You start to see things differently. You start to see.
So does that mean I just have to sit down and just decide to be those things, or is it thoughts like practically how do I move from lack to a place like you said once that you have to be what you want? Sort of, how did you say it?
You have to be it. You have to visualize yourself there.
Okay.
So for example, okay, I'll give my example. So I've always wanted to be a chief nurse and a director of nursing. And at the time that I was thinking these thoughts, I wasn't. I was doing a job completely 5 bars down. But I started to see myself there. I started to see myself how I would want to change our clinical practice. I started to see how I would really make a difference in patients' lives. I started to see myself there. But as I was seeing myself there, my passion was rising. And as my passion was rising, do you know what happened? An opportunity came. And the opportunity came, they were looking for somebody to be a chief nurse. And then I thought, I'm going to put myself forward because that's who I see myself as. But I did not actually have this. I didn't have all the skills and all the knowledge that would get me there. But I knew I wanted to get there. But I was given the opportunity. And today, I told you, I work as a deputy director in nursing because I first of all visualized myself there. I saw myself there. So Pastor, what you said is very correct. The power of decision. I need to decide in my mind. So I made a decision in my mind that that's what I want to be, that I can see myself. Then my passion connected with it.
Wow.
Then the door opened.
So it was an intentional thing that you did?
It was intentional. The power of we have to be intentional. So everything we do, we've got to be intentional in the things we do. We have to be decisive. We have to be intentional. Those two things. So it's about that, seeing yourself there.
Okay.
Looking after yourself, the wellness I've talked about, aligning yourself with your maker, seeing yourself where you want to get to. So you've lost your job right now. But I can assure you that you will get a job. Or something. If you don't get a job, an opportunity will open, even for you to start your own business. Or to start something in the midst of all this chaos. But what do you have to do? You have to quieten your mind through meditation so that you're not listening to all the voices and the chaos that are going on in the world. I don't watch news. I don't watch TV. And I'm not saying stop watching TV. But I'm really intentional about that. So if I need news, I've got my news feed, the way I get my news feed. But I don't sit there and go into all this looking at, okay, which story is coming next? Oh my God, did you hear about this? Why? Because it can take me out of alignment. So I'm careful about what I listen to, what I watch. I am very focused on what I want to do because I know this life is a gift. And I have to make the impact that I need to make. But I have to be aligned with myself, with who I am. I have to know who is Ethel. And then I have to be intentional, I have to be decisive. And then when I say intentional, I have to get up and do the things. So when I said with physical wellness, I get up every morning and I walk for 30 minutes. I am intentional. I've made a decision. That is what I'm going to do. And I've already visualized the Ethel that myself being completely well physically. But it also helps my emotional well-being. It also helps my physical well-being, and my spiritual well-being is through meditation and connecting with God. So there's something about that power of making decisions and being intentional in the things we do and aligning.
So the last thing I want to say very quickly because of time is, what about people who feel they have been wounded either because of abuse, abandonment, rejection? They're like, I really want to be, but I have so much pain and so much regret, or so much. I just have these emotional scars. So what would you say if alignment begins with us? Where do they begin from? Begin
by first of all accepting. Don't brush it aside, because those things are real things. They've happened. You've been hurt. You've been wounded. I've been there. I've been wounded 1,001 times in my life. But I had to accept it. I have to get to a place where I accept that this has happened to me. But then I also had to make a decision. Am I going to allow this thing to actually hold me down and pin me down from going to where I need to do? No, I'm not. So I'm going to change and try and use that to actually catapult me to where I need to go. And that's the decision that I made. But also in the midst of it, I decided to be more compassionate towards myself, to look after myself. You see, if someone is wounded, is hurt, we have to exercise self-compassion. We have to be compassionate. Our God is compassionate. Remember, because he's compassionate, we have to also be compassionate to ourselves as well. So I have to also forgive myself, but to also let go of that person who hurt. Remember, I'm not blaming that person. You see, when we blame a person, it means that we are holding them and saying, because of you, this is why I'm stuck. We have to release that person.
Okay.
And I now thank those people who hurt me.
Wow.
And say thank you, because you helped me align.
Wow.
You helped me find Ethel. You rejected me, but you helped me to find myself. Thank you. Because if you hadn't put me in the bin and rejected me, I would still be holding on to you, and you know, I'll still be holding on to you, and now I would be out of alignment.
Wow.
But because you threw me away, I actually had to turn back to myself.
Wow.
And when I turned back to myself, I discovered who I am, and now I'm walking in my calling and my purpose. So it's a thank you.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. So is there a last statement, something you just want to say to our viewers
So to the
as
viewers,
we bring this to a close?
So to our viewers, thank you very much for listening. What I want to say to you is there's nothing in this whole world that is worth you giving up on life on. Do not give up on life. What I would really encourage you is to go back to who you are, to just love yourself. Look in the mirror and just tell yourself how amazing you are. Base this on who God says you are and who God is. Anything that's going on in your life right now, any response you need to make, any relationship changes you need to make, do it from a place of love. And sometimes letting go of someone is actually loving them rather than actually rejecting them. I love you so much, I need to let you go because you're not going where I'm going. And that is coming from a place of love. That's not a bad thing at all. So I just want to encourage you and say to you that, you know, reconnect with yourself. Hope is not lost. There's so much that this world is needing from you that you can input into. What you really need is to spend time with you. And that's all that I'm going to leave you.
Wow.
Thank you.
This is such an amazing interview, one of the best. I'm just like, wow, my head is just so impacted right now. So much is going through my mind. I hope you really enjoyed this time. But where can they find you on social media as a speaker and some of the things that you do?
Well, if you want to follow me on social media, I've got a Facebook page which is called He Matters, and He Matters is where I talk about men and mental health. You can follow me on that page and yeah, follow what I'm doing, or you can contact me directly through that page at ethel@hematters.co.uk. Speak to you soon, and look forward to catching up with you again.
Oh, thank you so much for joining me. I'm really so glad to have you here today. Yeah, to all our viewers, I hope you've had a very wonderful time. We've talked about the power of alignment, the power of being intentional, being decisive, and how you are your own responsibility in terms of defining what you want to make of your life. And I hope that you will never forget this interview. Please, we want you to like this YouTube, and we want you also to subscribe if you have not, and to share with as many people as possible. I promise you that we'll bring more content. Please be a part of this YouTube family, and we will see you again next time. I just want to say thank you to you, and I'm sure this is not the last time we are going to see you on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much. See you soon.